Okay, let's go forward. I'm going to use the vintage deck here. Going to pull 18 cards and then we'll see if we can figure out what it's pointing to today. What a time we're living in. But as in all things, this too will pass. And we learn some valuable lessons from it. And like I've said, this is the time of a division. Those that are going towards light will go more towards light, and those that are rejecting light and going to the darkness are going to be pulled more into that, solidified into that anger and hate and drama. Okay? And they can call the light dark. Okay? It doesn't change what's the truth. And that's what we see. We see some of them coming here and they want to come and say that the truth is a lie because the dark cannot stand the light. It doesn't understand it. Okay, so let's see what's driving the reading. Underneath of it is for the long term. Things for the long term when it comes to what's being shared. Okay. It's about actions going forward, charging forward, and how it affects your world and the world in general. Okay. And where this is rapidly moving to when it comes to what's being sold. Okay. The desires when it comes to their attempted manipulations and the ongoing struggle with that. Ongoing struggle with the manipulations at hand, looking at the long term and what's being shared. Okay, so let's see. The reading is about the message about actions going forward. It's about the truth coming out, and the truth coming to that pinnacle where the truth is going to be the undoing of those when it comes to either they're attempting to railroad people to define truth, or for us to stand in truth, absolute truth, for transformation. Okay? So the energy coming into it is about the harvest. We don't like what's coming. We don't like what they're doing. And so we are needing to move mentally, framework, to a better place when it comes to democracy, or it comes to, again, true spirituality, compassion, love, light, the truth of that. So those are the things we hold up. 2 kings, okay? Holding on to the divine truth and spirituality. Again, the message about an action because we don't like the harvest. So this truth is coming out and ending the delusion, and we are moving on to a better place mentally, because this is about the long term, what we're sharing, how this is going forward, the fight that we have in the actions when it comes to the world, rapidly, the desires, looking at the manipulations and the ongoing struggle. So it's saying continue with it. We need to continue to hold on to the truth of divine spirituality. Okay? And this other things, the truth will set you free, like it says, and will bring you to a place where you can move forward. So what's going on today? New information. Okay? New information. when it comes to could be just going into a mental rest, okay? Not getting yourself worked up, okay? Resting within that when it comes to the burdens that are being carried, the action, the burdens. Sometimes you need to give yourself a rest. So the challenge is what's coming out. Maybe not looking to see what you already have, but being in this mode of just, I don't like what's coming and all the nonsense. And it comes to their attempted to use this control and with what's hidden. So let's see what's hidden when it comes to their attempted to control, or it comes to this taking charge. Okay, a victory, the burden of a victory. Because don't like what's coming down. And it's about this control, potential outcome. Sometimes there are some things that need to be sacrificed, okay, to see from a different viewpoint, things that are being overturned. We have an agreement when it comes to what they try to put the lid on, when it comes to compassion, when it comes to an agreement going forward. We have a new cup. When it comes to the sacrifice, we have a new cup out there. The wheel is turning, an agreement that things are changing when it comes to what's being offered up. Okay. So if we look at this, the cup, new cup coming in, overfilling, and this cup has what? The Holy Spirit, okay? The spirituality, the Holy Spirit. Things are moving in what is being offered, okay? So what's being offered is the Holy Spirit. So this is something that we can gravitate to. Now we look at our reading, the four corners. We have the message about an action, some sacrifices, things being overturned, seeing from a new place. When it comes to their lack of compassion and what they're trying to put the lid on, and we stand for that truth. Okay. So the very center of it is about resting, mentally resting. Maybe going into quietude when it comes to going forward and dealing with taking control or their feeling of their abuse, their abuses of trying to control. So sometimes you just need to rest in that new information about the burden that you're feeling, not liking the harvest, and rest in that and know that there is a victory that is coming. That's what's hidden. The hidden thing is there is a victory coming, okay? And we're looking at the way of spirituality and resting in when we see that there are things being offered that we don't want to deal with. Sometimes you just need to go into a resting mental state and know that the divine is there, okay? The divine feminine and the genuine teachings of spirituality are there. And sometimes you just need to go into mental rest about that and know that these things are going to come out okay in the end. So what we have when it comes to going forward better mentally, the swords of truth are out, and it's going to, again, come to that critical point of just ending some of the drama. So this is something that we can rest within, knowing that's going to happen. We don't like the harvest, and so mentally we're going to a better place of spirituality within. When it comes to going forward, the message is about the action and the burdens that we're carrying, and understanding there is new truth, new information coming out that we can hold to when it comes to the absolute truth. Okay? So when it comes to an abuse of power or control, we need to rest with others in an agreement. Okay? What's being offered up when it comes to this abuse, there will be a victory that we have coming forward. When it comes to looking at the burden, sometimes there may be some sacrifices we may have to make, and new information coming out when it comes to their attempted abuse of power and lack of compassion. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the clarifying read. And many times that will give us the more information about what's actually taking place. So let me get these all put in here in different areas. I don't want them all right next to each other because I want to have a clear read. Okay, let's shuffle them now, and we'll see what the rest of the reading has to say. So we need to rest in the fact that we're in this division and the truth will win out over the darkness, okay? Okay, so at the center of it all, what we have is, either taking control or an abuse of power, okay? But controlling, this is also sometimes being able to control your mentality, okay? It's all about understanding that you already have a victory. Control this. If you have more intelligent and holding on to the truth in the fight, and you don't allow them to repress you mentally, stand in your power, okay? Stand in your power. Now, they may try to use these things to abuse the power, but you can take control of your own mind, okay, and rest. In resting in that truth, you already have the control, okay? And that's the Spirit. That's the Holy Spirit. Again, living with honesty, integrity, transparency, sacredness, and simplicity. And you're already ahead of the game. You don't allow them to abuse you mentally, to overrun you. Hold on to the truth. Rest in that knowledge that the Spirit overcomes that dark. So we have the burden, okay? The burden that one is carrying. Again, rest in that and know that the divine is greater. Like it says, greater within you than he that's within the world, okay? So what's being birthed, what's being given out? The fullness of the divine is the fullness that's being given in the midst of this burden. Foundation is strength. So strengthen yourself mentally, knowing that the divine is giving, that it's got that spirit, that we have that cup overflowing. Okay, it's like the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Your rod and your staff are basically protecting me. Okay? You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Surely goodness and mercy, the divine feminine, will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. The rod and the staff, they comfort me. Okay? So always is looking out for the best. Now the sheep, when it talks about the still waters, when the sheep would get wet, okay, and it's got moving waters, they would drown. But he takes them to a place that's safe, keeps them in a place, he shepherds them, watches over them, wants the best for them. Okay? So let's see, when it comes to the burden and resting, you know, all things in their time. The wheel is turning, karma, all things in its time. Have the strength of mind and faith that this is going to proceed in a good way. So we look at the thing. From their side, they want to manipulate it, use these things, smoke and mirrors. The magician is about what? They're not actually bringing something in, it's smoke and mirrors. Some people say, oh, that's the strongest card in the deck. How? It's manipulation. Okay? It's the fantasy. Unless you see that above it, again, the things that are above are the things below. Okay? So we know that the divine feminine and the divine brings things into manifestation. Okay, so we hold on to that it's all the blessings that are coming, that are going on, as above, so below. So if you want to hold on to that, again, you have to understand all things are going to change in their time, in their timing. And what are you holding on to? Are you holding on to a feeling of lack? And that could rule your mind in a bad way? Or are you holding on to those things of value that are so precious that you want to cling to them? So this is about the actions being taken, waiting for the ship to come in, taking that action. Again, not listening, not taking in, closing off. Now, in this case, I would be saying you need to close off the dark and you need to go within. Okay? But there are those, again, that will not see. So this is about the gray is about the subconscious, the truth. And on the feet are the mentality. So where are you going when it comes to the subconscious? Okay? So it's about an action. Those that are out in the cold, the way forward is right there. The benefit is what? In the spirituality. Okay? In the church. But some reject that. And when they're rejecting that, they're out in the cold. But it's right there. It's so close. So it's about what's being offered, the message. Is this the message of the lies, the fallacies? Or is this the message of genuine spirituality? Okay? What's there? So it's about going deeper, investigating the way of the spiritual path. Everyone has to walk the path alone. Okay, it's the one of soul searching, investigating, seeing what's being given out. and understanding the dark elements, the things that chain, the things that bind, the things that are against the light. And they could get out of it at any time. That's not on there, hard that they can't get loose, okay? But you've got to be willing to turn your back on that dark drama. And what's hidden, let's see what's hidden. About going forward, about having the truth, about charging forward in the truth when it comes to the dark element, challenging that so that you can move yourself to a better place. So take yourself to a better place mentally, okay? So we'll leave that there. But again, what are you blocking out? Are you blocking out the message of Christ, what's being offered? Is that being blocked out? Okay? Or are you going to go within to find out the truth? Again, when those are out in the cold, they're out in the cold because what? They don't want to go into the light. It's being offered, it's there. But it's up to us what path we choose. Going to a better place mentally takes charging forward in truth. Rallying in truth when it comes to the dark elements and what's being given out. Are you out for money, drama, or are you looking for the things of spirit? And you are here on this path where it's an internal path that everybody walks. Okay? So what's being held to? The strength of that? Know that the timing, things are moving when it comes to the burden. As above, so below. Okay? With what's being offered from spirit, or is it about trying to manipulate? Trying to manipulate with smoke and mirrors, as we see those of the dark element that want to try to control and manipulate rather than going with the divine feminine, going with the flow of nature. They want to try to overcome and control, and they put out smoke and mirrors. Center of it all, again, is about control, mental control, resting in the spirit. Okay? And that's how you control the mental realm. You have to rest in the spirit, rest in the truth, rest in the light. Okay? Having that faith, the substance of things unseen, rather than let them put you in control of your mind by moving you into lack. Okay? So having that assurance, like it says, the 23rd Psalm, about that the shepherd, the spiritual teachers, the ones that are like Yeshua ben Joseph that came to give that light, that they're here for your benefit. Okay? So rely on that. Trust in that. Your rod and your staff. Okay? Comfort me. The staff is like the way forward, the leadership. The rod is there to, go against the dark, to protect those. So on that note, I'll leave that here, and we'll see you online.